ready.
Hello and what is up guys, my name is PixelPolish and welcome to the show where I'll be going through the latest runs and dramas from the ever rage-inducing PlayStation Vita world. I've got a lot of things to tell you, so let's see what's not going on in Vita News for Tuesday, 19th of August 2014. Let me start by saying this. Usually I try to stay clear of directly stating my opinions on this show because it's about the news, not my rants. This time, however, there's something that I need to say about Sony's Gamescom performance, and I promised you a Gamescom 2014 special, so I goddamn will deliver. But this time around, just this once, the formula will be a whole lot different. So yeah, Gamescom, the beacon of hope for all PS Vita gamers after this year's E3. Don't get me wrong, E3 2014 was still packed with Vita goodies, but PS4 stole Vita's thunder. All the real Vita action was not on stage, but on the show floor. Unfortunately, the history repeated itself during Gamescom 2014. Vita games and the console itself was pushed aside into a dark, moldy corner and all eyes, whether they wanted or not, were on the big system. Disappointing? Yes. Surprising? Maybe. Understandable? Unfortunately, yes. Before you jump to conclusions on what I'm about to say, hear me out. No, I'm not gonna follow my fellow YouTubers and the likes in saying Sony abandoned Vita, all hope is lost, the system is dead, terror, terror, terror. No, I'm not gonna say that, because it's not quite that simple. Let me put it that way. I'm looking at these events from more of an industry insider's perspective, not just a consumer. I take a good look at Sony and after giving some thought about their moves, I can somewhat understand what they are doing. I might not always like it, I might get angry and frustrated just like the rest of you, but then I take a deep breath and try to shift my perspective a little bit. So here's the thing. PS4 is the big hitter now, there's no doubt about it. Sony is facing a dilemma. Should they focus their resources and stage time on, let's face it, a minor system, or keep riding that PS4 hype? Of course they will choose the latter, at least for now. This is mainly because they are waging a market turf war with their biggest competitor, Microsoft, which focuses all its might on Xbone and Xbone alone. Aside from Xbox 360, Microsoft doesn't have to focus on anything but Xbox. If Sony wants to dominate the home console market this generation, they have to continuously butt heads with Microsoft. In the meantime, they also need to push their phones, TVs, audio equipment, cameras, online services, and God knows what else. And then there's PS3 and PS Vita. Sony, drunk on success, seriously messed up the PS3 launch after the amazing performance on PlayStation 2. Then they have also messed up the Vita launch, because they have hired some brain-dead marketing company to deal with it, and that company fucked up quite severely. If you know a little bit of your gaming history, you know exactly how dire the consequences of these fiascos were for both Sony and their consumers. Hell, we are experiencing it firsthand with as PS Vita owners right now, right at this very moment. That shows you how vital the first year of a console's lifespan is for its future, you know. They simply don't want to repeat that mistake with PS4 to stay in the console business. I can understand that. This is why Vita, after its botched launch, is now in the shadow of its bigger sister. But guys, not all hope is lost. Look at PlayStation 3. In the eyes of many gamers, Sony were able to rectify their mistakes few years down the line, and PS3 still stands proud. They are now focusing mainly on the youngest child, but there's still a lot of content coming up for PlayStation Vita as well. Hell, I have started writing this issue of Vita News with raw material for 14 games and some services, exclusives, indies, and some really fantastic ports. Only when I started writing my Gamescom rant, I have decided that this episode should be all about it, because I know how many of you are upset and concerned. I'm not saying you shouldn't be. If you care for something, you gotta be upset, you gotta be concerned, and you need to say it out loud. But I also say, don't give in to the panic, the black PR and the grim forecasts for PlayStation Vita. Next week I'll give you 14 news about incoming games, and there's more than 60 titles in the pipeline, as stated by Shahid Ahmad, I hope I pronounced that right, the head of the PlayStation Vita team at Sony. They may not be winning over hordes of new Vita fans as it is now, but we, the current owners, are set for quite a long time when it comes to new games. Mistakes were made during the launch of PS Vita, mistakes with very long-term consequences, but they can be rectified over time, just like with PS3. I say, don't worry too much, let the PlayStation 4 have its good launch for a change and make Sony mountains of money that will be hopefully used to put a spotlight on our beloved handhelds once more. You need to understand that previous Sony missteps have put the company in a pretty shitty financial situation, so it was and possibly still is a pretty vicious cycle. PS Vita was not doing very well, so that meant less money to advertise, and the lack of advertisement caused them not to make money. I think you can see the problem here. They have to break that cycle somehow, and PlayStation 4 might just be that key to success. That's why I say keep supporting the system, keep buying the Vita games, and buy the PlayStation Vita TV if you're interested in it, as the more units will sell, the more potential player base there will be in the eyes of the developers and publishers. That in turn will mean more games, and hopefully more hype will follow. Just stay strong, don't give in to the naysayers' propaganda, and remain cautiously optimistic. And that is it for my Vita News Gamescom 2014 Rant Edition. Please let me know what you think about the whole situation with Sony in the comments below. Also like or dislike this video if you feel like it, and if you're not a subscriber already, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Also, if you want to check out some of my other videos, there will be some moving pictures on my end screen that you can click on. See you on the next video. PixelPolish up and out.